It is time to tango in Argentina, Moto3 style. Lights out, Sergio Garcia got a boy pretty well from pole position. There's been a really good start as well from Joel Kelso in 5th place. Is he going to move up a couple of places on the run into first corner? Sergio Garcia that makes the perfect start, just where he wanted to be. He's got the whole shot on the gas machine.
No great progress yet from Dennis Foggia. He's just in behind his teammate Tatsuki Suzuki. It looks like he's picked up one into 10th position, but Foggia will be certainly looking to get his elbows out as we come onto this back straight. Sasaki still holds second. Crucial for him to make a good start so he can try and get an empty track and try and build up an advantage before he serves that long lap penalty.
Sergio Garcia then sweeps through that fast turn 6 for the first time of asking. Just under 0.3 of a second clears. Ethan Guevara moves into 2nd place. Nice move on the inside of Sasaki into turn 7.
Ricardo Rossi still keeping a watching brief there behind them in 4th position. Artigas and Moreira were having a look at the inside. Yumi Sasaki has now been given the notification that he can serve his long lap penalty. It's on the outside of turn 7, so expecting to serve that next time around.
No great forward progress being made as yet by two big hitters in this race. Foggia started 11th, still in 11th place. Likewise, Masia, 2019 winner here. He's made no forward progress as well. He's down in 12th.
And Dennis Onchu, a rider who we expected to come through the grid from 16th on the grid, he's actually dropped places. He's back with his teammate, Adrian Fernandez. They're in 18th and 19th. A wide line there for what looked like Holgado coming through the penultimate corner. That's cost him a lot of time. But as we come across the line for the first time, it's the two Aspar riders who we were being told are looking to work together. Ethan Guevara is already trying to take the lead from his teammate.
Yeah, he thought about a dive bomb there up the inside of Garcia, didn't he, at the first corner, then probably thought better of it. They've been warned. There was a pep talk post-Mandalika about how they were racing together closely. Is that Ortola who's got a... Oh, it's Carrasco. Yeah, Ana Carrasco. Oh, that's cruel. Ana Carrasco then looking to try and maybe score her first World Championship points on her return to the Moto3 World Championship.
But look at the slipstream effect as Guevara goes past his teammate for the first time. Rossi's now having a look up the inside of Sasaki. Sasaki's good on the brakes though, as again we see Holgado trying to go right around the outside. He's going to get hung out to dry there, and he has to slot in behind Artigas.
So we're coming through this fast turn 6 then now. Will Sasaki sweep into the long lap penalty at turn 7? Now, surely he's going to have to come in very, very soon. He gets 3 laps to serve this long lap penalty. Will he come in at this point? You can see it there on the outside. Yeah, he does indeed. So now he's going to give himself, what, 2 or 3 seconds time to recover. He's going to lose a whole bunch of places here at Yuma Sasaki. He went in there in 3rd place behind the two gas riders. We'll try and pick out where he rejoins.
He's between the two Tech 3 teammates. I think I saw him slotting ahead of Adrian Fernandez. Indeed he is. He's in 18th position of Yuma Sasaki. No real splits in the main group at the moment, so not all lost for Yuma Sasaki. 18th for him. He'll look to now try and follow Onchu, no doubt, through to the front of the field. Mignot's getting up to speed now as well. He's just got the inside of Moreira. Moreira getting beaten up a bit on this lap, as well as Artigas. They've both been shuffled aside by our Qatar Grand Prix winner. Mignot's had a bit of a quiet weekend, but as always on a Sunday, when it gets to the rough and tumble of Moto3, Mignot's never too far from the front.
Well, that adds a bit of spice, doesn't it, to this championship battle, to this race battle. If you threw the checkered flag out now, Ethan Guevara beats his teammate Sergio Garcia. They'll go to Austin in just, 5 days' time for free practice in Texas, level on points at the top of the championship. How's Gino Borsoy's heart rate, I wonder, as Jaume Masia again fights back through. While Holgado, Mignot also got through as well. That was a bad turn 12. Maybe he got the exit wrong on turn 11 for Holgado because he lost places to Masia, Mignot and Moreira.
Fastest lap of the race, unsurprisingly, to Andre Mignot. He went from 8th to 4th on lap. He just scythed through the field all the way up onto the tail of Jaume Masia. They are closing now on this leading duo, the Aspar riders up front. Jaume Masia is now locked in the slipstream of Sergio Garcia. For the first time, it looks as if the Aspar 1-2 is going to be broken. Garcia managed to cover his line pretty well into turn 5, but the top 2, the advantage that they had of just over 0.6 of a second, has now been completely washed away, with 5 riders, should we say, with Moreira just at the back of this group, looking to have distanced themselves now from Holgado in 6th. Key lap now for the two Leopard riders at the back of the screen. Can they now get their heads down as Guevara goes wide? That's going to put Garcia all over him now through turns 3 and 4. Garcia's going to have a great slingshot. In fact, Guevara's got a problem.
Oh, that is so cruel. Ethan Guevara, you could just see him there on the gas trying to pick up the speed through turn number 4. He's just sat up. Oh, they can't believe it. The gas machine has gone kaput. That's the end of Ethan Guevara's Grand Prix, and that's of course the end of his hopes of leading the World Championship going into Austin. If he'd have won this Grand Prix, that's exactly where he was heading. That is so cruel for the man who started this race in 3rd position. He looked so good through turn number 4, and then that was it. Just nothing. no power whatsoever. He puts his arm up, he looks down to his left boot. That is so cruel for Ethan Guevara, our race leader, out of the Argentinian Grand Prix and out of the lead of the World Championship.
Absolutely nothing he could do about that, unfortunately, for Guevara. It's cost the Aspar team the lead because Garcia has now been overtaken by Mino. We saw in Qatar 2 weeks ago, of course, Mino now, that brings him right back into the contention at the top of the championship. We saw a few weeks ago, once Mino got to the front, Garcia tried everything in Qatar to try and get past that Honda, the River Cold Snipers Honda, and couldn't do it. He shouldn't find it quite so difficult this time because there are more overtaking opportunities if you don't necessarily have the straight line speed, which Garcia doesn't relative to that Honda. But Mino, as we've seen in the past, very difficult to shift once he's at the front, and Foggia looks like he's really closing the gap now on this group of four. He started about 1.3 seconds behind them. It's now 1.2, but he was in the 149s. It was Mino who set a pretty quick lap that last time around, but Foggia half a second quicker than the riders second, third and fourth.
Algaro's just struggling for pace at the mid-race distance, but let's keep a close eye on the number 7, Dennis Foggia, trying to get himself back into victory contention as Masia and Garcia fan out across the track. They both use some slipstream to fire their way through on Andre Mino. That'd have been not easy with the speed of the Honda down that back straight. Impressive from both the Gas and KTM man. Here he comes. Is he going to get 2 for the price of 1? He looks like he's certainly got Moreira, and he's got Masia as well. Brilliant by Foggia. How much confidence did he have in the front end of that Leopard Honda going into turn 12? Brilliant. Foggia then into 3rd place.
Patience being rewarded for the Leopard team because Suzuki's right there too. Just at the back of this group, you can see him on the 2nd of the blue Leopard bikes in 6th. And a shout out to some of the riders further back. Ayumu Sasaki from his long lap penalty, he's in that 2nd group. He's up into 8th now, and Tatai from his lowly group position, he's now starting to get up to speed. He's in 9th, just behind Holgado, who's still holding on to a top 10 spot.
Garcia, the poleman, who still leads. Here comes Giammatteo though on the inside of Foggia on the brakes into turn number 5. He's got that done. Beautiful move. Use the slipstream behind Foggia's Leopard Honda. Move to the inside line. Nick the inside line from Foggia. Nicely done by Masia. He's back into P3.
Moreira still in the thick of this, incidentally. He's on the number 10. You can still see him in that group. Foggia, no way through for him this time. It looks as if he was shaping up once again as Suzuki on the other Leopard machine. He's trying to have a collision.
No, that's Mino. Is that Mino? Masia. Oh, that's drama. Can you believe it? Andre Mino was in a tangle with Sasaki in the last race in Mandalika. There's clearly a pretty frank exchange of opinions between the two men, two of the most experienced men in this Moto3 field. But with Ethan Guevara out from the race lead, and now 2 other men who were in podium contention, in victory contention as well, Masia and Mino will try and find out what happened there. It looked like both of them were trying to run that tight line to defend from Foggia into turn 12.
Certainly seemed to suggest as if it was Mino's fault. He was gesturing at him, and of course there he is, just rubbing up the inside. Unfortunately, it's under investigation. Mino, who was taken out of the Grand Prix in the latter stages, having been hit from behind by Sasaki. Unfortunately, he's gone from the aggressed to the aggressor. He's taken out Masia, and you'd like to think that the race direction will be keeping a keen eye on that. If anyone's for blame, you'd have to say it's the winner of the opening Grand Prix. Here we go, up the inside. Masia is taking the racing line through then. Unfortunately, he found a River Cold Snipers Honda in the way. Unfortunately,
that is Mino's crash taking out Giammatteo, and the penalty that Ayumu Sasaki got for whacking into Mino last time out in Mandalika, that will be coming the way of Andre Mino and Austin. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a long lap penalty for that. The FIM stewards will look at it, but I think that will be a penalty.
Foggia is now in range. We've seen this a few times up the inside. He's going to go up the inside. Unfortunately, Garcia is just going to have to release that one and now have to play the long game. One more lap to go as they come through this left-hander to start the final lap. And for the first time in the race, it's Foggia who hits the front. So Dennis Foggia, who's been so strong into that turn 12 throughout this entire Grand Prix, hits the front as we start the last lap. Garcia tries to find a way back through, though, into the first corner. There is no way through. Dennis Foggia then will go to Austin as the World Championship leader if he can make it back-to-back wins here. We're coming to turn 2 on the last lap. It's Foggia from Garcia. Turn 5 will be a key moment here for Garcia. We've seen how late he is on the brakes in today. He's going to have to try and get in front, because you feel, from what we've seen in this Grand Prix so far, if Foggia leads into that final sector, he will lead at the end of it. Looked like a bit of a moment there for Sasaki as well in 4th position. It's between the top 3, you would say, at the moment. Can Suzuki get in amongst it and help his teammate out? Here comes the slipstream then. Sergio Garcia trying to use the slipstream behind Foggia. Can Suzuki get ahead of Garcia and then perhaps defend his teammate
teammate at the head of this Grand Prix. Suzuki has gone through then on Garcia into turn number 5. Now surely he's going to operate as the perfect wingman here for World Championship leader Dennis Foggia.
They've played this perfectly, haven't they? Leopard. Suzuki doing just the perfect job for his teammate. Garcia knows he's going to have to fight back immediately into turn 7, but look at the defensive line from Suzuki. He holds it into turn 7. Foggia, you'd imagine, will be safe from here. You wouldn't imagine Suzuki's going to have a go at it in the final sector of the race. The question now is, can Garcia get back into second place and limit the damage? As it stands, Foggia would lead by 10 to Texas as Garcia goes through.
That was super brave by Sergio Garcia. He had to make that move on the inside of Suzuki into turn number 9. Has he got anything left now then for our race leader, Dennis Foggia? Is there going to be more drama in this final sector in Moto3? We've already seen a collision between Andrea Migno and Jaume Masia.
It's close.
Foggia will run a tight defensive line. This is where he's been so strong. Here comes Garcia. Is there going to be contact? It's super tight. Garcia leans on Foggia. Sergio Garcia looks like he might have taken it. Garcia does take it. He wins here in Termas de Rio Hondo. Glory for Garcia in Argentina. What a brilliant last lap move. Foggia takes second place. Yuma Sasaki got his compatriot Suzuki on the last lap as well for third place. What a brilliant last sector, a brilliant last corner for Sergio Garcia.
But Sergio Garcia did it when it mattered. Third with half a lap to go, but he snatched second place from Tatsuki Suzuki and then victory with just 2 corners to go. Garcia gets his title campaign up and running in Argentina.